Hello, I'm Mike. I'll be your DM for the night. This is uh, welcome to episode 13 of Fallen Dragons. Uh, and tonight's episode is called The Dinner Party. And like I said, I'm Mike. I'm your DM. You see me here all the time. You see me in Josh's Gunpowder and Brass. You've seen me in our quite interesting Call of Cthulhu Halloween episodes.
If you
If
haven't
you
seen
have,
that, go watch it. I went
yeah,
deeply insane. It was great.
yeah,
The holiday special.
and actually a little bit of a uh, spoiler, if you want to call it that. We're going to do a Christmas um, holiday Call of Cthulhu game where our other players that were there with Josh attempt to rescue him from Arkham Asylum because his wife wants him home for Christmas. So stay tuned for that and see if any of the players get out of Arkham Asylum anywhere near sane. So
Spoiler: Santa is an eldritch horror.
yep, always has been. The red suit was just meant to throw you off. How do you think he actually flies? Because that sled's not magic. Uh, so but tonight we're dropping in on our players who are who have been staying with the um, obsidian shadow dragons on their island they took over. Um, but before we get into that, I'll have the other three players introduce themselves and tell us what characters they're playing tonight. So I'll go to my left as my screen goes, and we'll start with Dusty.
Hey y'all, I'm Dusty. I'm playing Smite, a tiefling warlock. I have earring that's like an extra ear. It's a little bloody, but it'll.
You'll find you'll find out about that in our overview in a second. Uh, then we'll go up to Josh right above Dusty.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm playing Otto, the human druid, who is probably just going to this dinner party primarily for the food, not knowing what's actually going to happen here, because that's his entire life is eating and killing things to eat.
Does Otto ever have a limit to the amount that he can eat?
Yeah, but then he turns into a wolf and that body's ready to eat, so
So it just never stops.
yeah.
So, and now we'll go over from Josh to Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick, and I'm playing Lucid Reverie. I am the cleric of the Storm Lord, who will spread his religion everywhere by force.
Violent sneeze.
Um, so, and with that, we'll jump into tonight's game. I will give you a short overview of what happened in the last episode because it's been about a month or more. Uh, uh, and then we'll see how it goes from there. You guys were staying on the Emerald Isle when we left. You had gone there, back there, to track down an old party member because this was her home island. In previous episodes, you had gone to the Shadowfell and met a family of obsidian shadow dragons. This former party member, being a princess of the Emerald Isle, made a deal with the dragons to give them access to the island in exchange for their formidable, formidable might in battle for a combat that she needed. Well, as things happen, it turns out that the person she wanted to the dragons to take out went out a different way, so the dragons were no longer needed. But you don't go back on a deal with a dragon. And so as time went, the dragons took over the island. And when the party went back, you found your former party member, a little worse for wear because she attempted to steal from the dragon's hoard in the dungeon, and that did not go well. And you found her hanging just inches above the dragon's treasure chest, unable to reach what she wanted most in the world. At which point, uh, the four of you conversed, and Smite ended up. Did you take one ear or both?
Honestly, I can't remember, but I just wanted to wear one earring because I thought
Okay.
it was cute.
I think she took both ears, but she
Okay.
wants one earring.
Mhm.
Earring.
You can
One
always,
earring with both ears, kind of in a heart shape.
Like stitch them together down the middle.
or
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you, or you could always have one earring and sell the other to a wizard who might use it as a spell component. Um, but that's up to you.
Yeah, what does
I really
Genasi
want to keep
ears
it
do?
smoky.
Oh, what does Genasi ears do for alchemy? I'm an alchemist, so
Well, Otto might research that a bit to
yeah,
find out.
that'll definitely be something that he does after dinner.
Yeah. Uh, speaking of dinner, this is that was the end of the overview, and this is now the what you guys do going tonight and going forward. Um, you have been invited by the male obsidian shadow dragon to stay for dinner because they have another special dinner guest. And since you guys appeared rather without notice, they're like, oh, we can accommodate that because they are now living in the previous ruler's castle and have plenty of room. And as we ended last time, the baby dragon, which you were there for its birth and the Shadowfell, had led had led you back up from the basement, and you were about to be seated at the long dining table in the great hall, which has been laid out with splendid crystal plates and bowls and silver rim glasses and gold silverware, and but you see four places that it has the plates, but it doesn't have the bowls or the glasses or the silverware. You know, three of them are for your host family.
What kind of fork does the dragon use?
Their teeth.
Yeah. They don't have silverware at their plates. They just have the plates. um, because I don't think their four limbs are dexterous enough to pick up silverware or glasses or anything like that. So
I'm kind of glad. Can you imagine a dragon wielding a sword?
it'd just be attack number 5 and around. It'd be like, okay.
What? Dragons in your settings have thumbs? I quit.
Yeah.
No, no. Actually, I'll have to think about that. I hadn't even thought about that.
I know
They
they
might,
cast magic, so maybe they wiggle their claws?
yeah. See, even if they had thumbs, it'd be a claw. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Well,
then
if
they,
they can polymorph themselves human, they can polymorph their hands human.
yeah, that's true. They could do that if they wanted to. Um, but as you're being seated, the, the Obsidian Shadow Dragon family walks out from behind the curtain, or excuse me, behind a tapestry in the Great Hall, and walks up to their places at the table and sit. Uh, at which point, the female of the pair turns and says, I will go check on our guest and see see if they're ready to come to dinner yet. And so she walks, backs up from the table, and walks through the tapestry. And it takes a few minutes, and you see the young ones starting to get a little antsy as they would. Uh, but then the mother comes back, seats herself, and puts and raises one of her claws and places it on the young one's head, and he calms down. Then, with footsteps that are even louder than the dragon's footsteps, which you're now used to, the tapestry moves aside, and Smite immediately recognizes who she's looking at.
Oh, we lost Smite.
Uh, well, that is.
There we go.
There we go. Did you hit a button or did your internet go blue?
It's my internet.
Oh, that's great.
I might need to call in.
Uh, well, you immediately recognize who you're looking at because she moves aside the tapestry and takes her place at the head of the large table. And the father obsidian dragon um, says, "Honored guests and friends, let me introduce you to Tiamat. Um,
Do I know who Tiamat is?
give me history rolls, all of you. Uh, Smite can do it with advantage because Smite's met Tiamat in several nightmares at this point.
Got a 17.
Well,
18.
you just don't roll, do you? What did you get?
Disadvantage, my best one was 9.
Oh,
And we've met!
yeah.
My
Actually,
wisdom, though.
yeah. Actually, you don't really even need to roll. You've seen her a few times now. Um, but the other two of you, Tiamat is the mother of all evil chromatic dragons.
Oh, fun.
She has 5 heads. One, each one is a different color: blue, black, green, red. You know, this white, the standard 5 chrom- chromatic dragon colors.
So she's come to see her grandbaby?
Well, that's one reason she's here. Which, if Tiamat could smile, that's what you're seeing right now.
That's terrifying.
all five heads have this sort of grin on them, but while she's smiling, even the grins look evil.
I mean, makes sense. She is an evil dragon times 5.
Yeah. And so she says in one voice that is deep and resonant, she says, I thank our host dragons for inviting me here to meet their little one and and also for me to meet in person someone I have spoken with several times. How are you, Smite?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Hail, Tiamat. Good to see you in person. I look forward to sharing this meal with you.
Uh, yes, our host has done a wonderful job from what I hear. After dinner, I must speak with you.
Hmm.
There is there is a, shall we say, favor I wish you to do for me.
I figure I owe you one.
Uh, it is a favor. You know, don't wish to force it on you, but those who know me know it's not the best idea to say no to me.
Hmm. Well, for the mother of all dragons, you're pretty polite and considerate, and I appreciate that you're asking for my input.
Mother of most dragons.
Some, the pretty color ones.
Yeah.
Well, I must say, while my heads are pretty, I do somewhat pale in color to my gem dragon
Hmm.
friends because they are sparkly.
They are.
But I was here first, so that counts.
Can I
um,
ask like a personal question?
of
Does
course,
does each of your heads have its own stomach,
no.
or do they share one?
All of my heads share one body.
Okay, good to know.
They do, however, have their own breath weapon, which
That's
I
terrifying.
Yeah.
which I which I can mix and match as I see fit.
Custom crafted death.
If you ever get to see me in actual combat, my rainbow breath weapon is very pretty. It's a mixture of all five.
Hmm.
So even if you're like resistant to one,
Yeah, basically, yes. But we need not speak of such things as that now. Uh, like, like I had said, after we have this enjoyable dinner, I wish to speak to you and your other adventuring friends if they wish. But um, speaking of that, I have looked in on your, I assume, ex friend in the or she wouldn't be still hanging in the basement in the dungeon at this point in time.
I have a new earring.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that pretty much tells me what I need to know. So she is not a member of this group anymore, I assume.
She took the ice cream bowl.
And the
Otto is
rum,
especially mad about the ice cream bowl.
A crime worthy of death.
That's what I'm saying. She's lucky
yeah,
she has a face.
yeah, I don't know that Otto knows about the never-ending flask of rum and the never-ending flask of ice cream.
He's been told about the ice cream by some of the um, people on the ship,
Ah,
and
well,
he desperately wishes to get it back or purchase his own.
Have you ever had ice cream, Otto?
No,
Okay. You have not yet lived?
yeah, yes, ice cream is a rare commodity in D&D. It's
Our characters are both like 25 pounds overweight because
yeah,
endless cream. Well, I don't know about yours, but mine is.
well, you now have that back because you were allowed to take all the things that Esma took.
so
The
there's just
drag,
way too many healing potions in our pockets.
the drag, the dragons let you have all of her stuff. Um, because they see her as uh, nothing more than a interesting play toy for the young one as she's hanging there. you know, he will play with her for a time. When he gets bored with her, she'll be a snack. It's, you know, the way
That's half in practice. Yay!
Yeah,
well, no, he, he's, his father's teaching him, how to use his tail attack and such like that. Being that hasn't been in combat yet, so he, you know,
and may he never need to end up in it.
Oh, the young one's gotten so big.
yep.
Grow up so fast.
Especially dragons. Uh, so, while this conversation's going on, servants start to bring out plate. There's a string of servants, and they start to bring out platters of food and such.
Otto's eyes light up.
Uh, it's every delicacy you could imagine. It's uh, you know, steaks of unknown origin, seafood, every delicacy you can imagine. Uh, and there are wines and liquors and desserts that are dripping with chocolate and caramel, and you know, this is a bigger spread than any inn you've ever been in. This is,
Fantastic.
and um, I'm looking for the uh, male dragon's name. I know I have it written down here somewhere, but my notebook for this game is a bit scattered. So, um, but anyway, he says, you know, before you, before the three of you came, we were just going to have food that dragons generally eat, which is anything and everything. But given the day that you've been here, our chefs have been able to create a feast that adventurers eat. So I hope you are happy
More than
with
happy. I am ecstatic. Thank you.
the layout you see in front of you.
I mean, even in the Shadowfell, the food was the most delicious I've ever eaten. I like the Shadowfell. I kind of want to go back, but
Well, our this was made by the same chef that lives in our castle in the Shadowfell, so you know the quality of food that he makes.
Is your chef magical? This is like 3,700 hours of cooking time. I think
He
your chef is just a wizard with a limited wish spell.
I mean, and dragon proportions
Yeah.
too. So.
Well, he does have a full complement of sous sous chefs back at the Shadowfell. We we do have two staffs there, so he has help. But he does a wonderful job
Indeed, he does.
because we pay him well, and he doesn't want to end up like your friend downstairs. So he's motivated.
I think
Peel
people
one
need.
person's face off and they all talk.
Some of them deserve it. I mean, the chef obviously not. I mean, with this caliber of
No,
food, but some people do.
no, our chef has been with us for, he's an elf. He's been with us for hundreds of years. You know, if an elf could be part of a dragon family, he would be. So, but um, by all means, dig in and enjoy your dinner.
And Otto does.
Uh,
Otto eats like he's never eaten before. He
Granted, he always eats like he's never eaten before, but
I mean, the speed, the speed and volume at which Otto eats is amazing.
So I find that flask of never-ending ice cream, and I'm like, Otto, put your mouth around this flask.
chug, chug, chug.
Well, basically, what happens with the flask is you take an empty bowl, you open the flask, you you know turn it down, and a glob of ice cream appears in the bowl.
Ah,
And I do believe you guys still had it set at Rocky Road. Uh, or no, no, it was
Cookie
cookie
dough.
dough. Cookie dough, yeah.
Rocky Road, though.
The
Cookie dough.
the flavor can be changed at any time. All you have to do is say whatever flavor you want, and while holding the flask, and it changes.
I want
Same.
human flavor.
It has to be an actual ice cream flavor.
I'm sure there's some vampire that's come up with blood ice cream.
Well,
Ooh.
blood ice cream, yes, but uh, actual human flavor, I probably don't think so. You could make a nice sherbet out of blood, though.
Mm.
Freeze it properly, it would make a nice sherbet.
Look
Meat
there.
flavored ice cream.
What?
With
Bacon
bacon
ice
sprinkled
cream.
on.
You have bacon ice cream.
They have that.
I'm sure.
That is a real thing.
Bacon everything.
I do, however, love milk chocolate. Milk chocolate coated bacon is wonderful, but uh, so what does Otto think of his first taste of cookie dough ice cream?
Let's see. Well, he rolled a 20 on it, so probably it's some of the best thing that he's ever had.
He absolutely loves cookie dough ice cream.
Oh no, his wolf form is going to get fat.
Oh my, oh my.
Otto is now a fat wolf.
His wolf needs to go on runs to keep the counteract the
Yeah.
amount of food it's eating, which a wolf would probably want to do anyway. It's not gonna
Especially
want
after
to
all that
just
sugar.
stay, stay cooped up. It's gonna want to run around. Um, so the dinner just goes wonderfully. The the little one takes turns, you know, he'll stop and eat for a bit, and then he'll go over to Tiamat and she'll give him hugs with her heads. And then later in the meal, he sort of timidly walks over to you, Smite,
Hmm.
uh,
Uncle Smite.
and
Hey, bud.
sort of lays his head on your shoulder. Yeah,
Aw.
because even though you were there for his birth and you guys have been interacting while you've been there over the last day or two, you're still not a dragon, so he's sort of, you know, doing this uh, not timidly because dragons don't do anything timidly, but he's being careful.
Aw,
But
buddy. You're so big now.
yeah,
I reach up and scratch him behind one of his ears, and then like I lean over and like rub one of my horns on his neck.
he is considerably larger than you, even though he is uh,
For
st-
grown yet.
still a baby.
They grow so fast.
Yeah.
I think he got cuter.
Well, yes. Well, part of that is your perception because he's like, you know, there is a connection there. So, you know, it's like no parent ever thinks their baby is ugly. So,
Most of them are really ugly.
yeah. It's been proven that most babies are if you didn't have chemicals in your body that told you the opposite, you would look at them and run away. But dragons, however, are even worse than this because your average dragon is not a beautiful creature. Well,
But
gem,
they're sparkly. What
gem,
is your favorite color?
gem dragons are beautiful because they sparkle. But
Oh no, they've got like 20 charisma when they're adults, so that's still
yeah,
a pretty animal.
yeah, and they can make you think they're pretty even if you don't.
Yeah.
uh,
It's pretty terrifying.
at least the bard songs that you've heard in the various inns have never mentioned ugly dragons. So, and this particular Ishkabel and his wife and the child, they're obsidian, so they shine very black with a gray spider web pattern across their scales. They are pleasant to look at as far as dragons go. But and seeing that all the food is just about gone and all the alcohol is just about drunk and seeing that it's getting late into the evening, Ishkabel turns to the four of you and says, "Have you had enough food? Are you satisfied?"
Oh, I couldn't eat a thing more. I couldn't eat a thing more.
Otto, for the first time in a long time, is satisfied. Since he isn't
Wow.
transforming into a wolf in front of Tiamat, he's uh he's done eating for the first time in months.
Oh,
Tiamat, are you standing in front of her or are you like laying at her feet or did you just transform
Oh no,
in
he's
this?
he's not transforming into a wolf.
Oh,
So
so
he's sitting, trying not to recline too much in his chair.
yeah. Well, Tiamat stands straighter and you see her full height at the tops of her heads, which almost reaches the ceiling in this room. and you see her true size, which is amazing. And she turns to Ishkabel, well, flashing a smile at the little one, and goes, "This was an absolute wonderful meal. Thank you for inviting me. Your little one is adorable. And I'm sure he will grow up to do the two of you proud someday." And
That's like getting like God to say, "Hey, your kid's pretty cool."
yeah, and she says, "I know Avernus isn't a place where most would want to go, but you are welcome there anytime you like. And if you wish, I know you have your own rulership here and in the Shadowfell, but if you wish to ever do some things for me, I would appreciate it." And Ishkabel and his wife nod, and the baby and the little one just sort of, cuddled against her stomach for a little because her torso is quite large. She, you know, makes a great worm look small.
Right.
So, so he just sort of stands there and, you know, against her and such. And she says, "And now for the three of you. You have been quite pleasant with me this evening, even though I've only met the two of you for the first time." She says, "Todd, I find you amusing, I really do. And that is not a negative comment in any way. I just, your eating habits and style amuse me. Uh,
I'm glad I could amuse you, O Queen.
you say you morph into wolves.
Oh yes. I
You are you are a druid then?
yes. I
So
learned
you
from some wolves when I was a child.
is a wolf the only thing you morph into?"
No, I can morph into many animals of the forest. Giant elk has been my most recent acquisition,
Ah,
although I don't think that morphing into prey animals in this environment would be the most intelligent decision.
uh, for one that prefers to eat, being eaten would be a bad thing.
Indeed.
Yeah. And you, sir, and she turned one of her heads to face uh, Lucid.
Hail, O Queen of the Dragons.
"Thank you. You are all very polite, and that is a change from most humanoid types."
Polite is better than crispy.
I must admit, for you, that would be true. for me, but I have eaten enough, so you are in no danger of that. At least not for now.
I mean, with the fine fare here, you could certainly find something better than stringy old me.
True. Uh, what is it you do for this party?
I spread the faith.
Whose faith do you spread?
The Lord of Storms.
Ah,
Think I could sway you?
I am a goddess on my own right. I don't follow other things. We are, for lack of a better term, same level. Um, he and I have spoken many times.
I see.
Um, seems a bit mercurial. Can be in a good mood at one point and then switch rather quickly.
That is the way of it.
But then again, I understand that because I can be the same. Uh, so you are one of his clerics.
That I am.
Hmm. Your healing um, ability may come in handy with what I'm about to propose.
Always happy to be of service.
And and you, Smite, I know what you do. I have watched you many times.
I mean, kind of creepy, but kind of hot.
She likes to watch.
Gods like to watch in general. It's what they do the most.
I mean, thanks for noticing, I guess.
Yeah. Cable where gods live sucks. So yeah,
So,
and it's really hard to get a cable repair guy up there. So yeah, they got to do something when they're not at war with something. Um, what I ask of Smite and the other two of you is this: you are seeing tonight one of my aspects. Uh, the the physical me, if you want to call it that, is currently back on Avernus. Um, I periodically do work for Asmodeus, who is the ruler of the Nine Hells, of which Avernus is the first. Um, it is an uneasy truce to say the least, because he has found a way to keep me here. Um,
is this against your will?
yes, I would not. At one point, I was ruler of this plane. That has been taken away from me. As the blood war continues on for centuries uncounted and may never end, uh, I was usurped by what started out. Azrael is her name, I think. She started out as an angel and slowly got corrupted. And Asmodeus gave her rule over this plane as a reward for her prowess in battle. So, what I am proposing, and I don't know if you have you heard of a substance on this realm known as genesium?
Yeah, actually, I've got some familiarity with that.
It is a substance that absorbs and amplifies magic like a sponge.
Mm.
And it can also be refined to, to use as spell components, or as you guys, as you beings on this plane call it, it can be used to make one of the nastier street drugs in all of Azeroth. And therefore, it is traded, it is regulated, it is, shall we say, proffered on the black market, as you people would say. It is the most expensive single element on Azeron. I want a large quantity of it, because if I can use it to amplify my magic, which is already extremely strong, I may be able to end Asmodeus and therefore not only rule this plane, but rule the plane of Avernus, but also the other 8 below it.
Sounds
And
like a
I
wonderful plan.
Yeah, you deserve it. I mean, you earned it.
and I wish my followers might to assist me with this, and if the other 2 of you are willing to assist her, I may be able to come up with some rewards for you if you accomplish this mission.
It sounds like something that might be up our alley.
Of course, of course, going after genesium in general is dangerous, and going after a large quantity of it makes it even more conspicuous and more dangerous.
Do we get to rob a train?
You're in the wrong game for that. There are no. That's Josh's game, not mine.
Well, like a wagon train, right?
Well, there are caravans, so that would be about the closest you would come.
Where does genesium come from? Is it like mined or
Yes, it's
ocean?
it's mined in um, just 1 second. Where did I put it? I have all this stuff listed, and then when I need it, I have to find it.
I get some of those little indexing tabs for your
Yeah, that have to run to the dollar store to get supplies.
So like if it's mined, my thought goes to like a wizard chemist, like Walter White, just like somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in a little hut, mixing it up, cooking it up.
Well, um, it's mined in the kingdom of Canamir because, and I need all three of you to give me another history roll because I think Canamir may be one of the places that none of you have ever been yet. So,
I got a
21.
16.
I used virtual dice and I got a 7.
Hey,
Probably not much better than the real dice.
and so what did the other two of you get?
1, 6, 16.
21.
Wow.
History is one of my good skills.
When Otto's not eating, he studies history apparently. Or while he's eating, who
Yeah, while
knows?
he's eating.
So, and Lucid would know this because he's traveled much. Um, Canamir is a kingdom 2 continents away, but they are known for mining uh, raw materials and then selling them to the other kingdoms on the continent. Their rulers are not very nice people because this is a land of uh, rough terrain, tall mountains, very little forest, volcanoes. It's um, Tiamat says it is a kingdom very close to what my home plane looks like. Um, this is the kingdom where genesium is mined the most. It is then shipped to various other places. Shipments do occasionally disappear, and those are sold on the black market generally. But it has made Canamir a very rich kingdom, although their the kingdom's inhabitants aren't treated all that well. They're not treated badly, but the wealth doesn't really get spread very far, if you know what I mean.
Down with capitalism.
Well,
The time of the bougie is at the end.
we're ta- we're
Workers
t-
unite.
we're talking kingdoms with kings and queens that generally, except in Erdmore, that generally doesn't go well.
Time to
The
bust
rule
up.
of kings is over.
Except for the kings here.
Yeah.
Get the guillotine.
Unless they're dragons, they can't be kings anymore.
Yeah, I don't. We didn't need a big, huge guillotine for Tiamat.
5 of them.
Yeah, it would just be really, just logistically
And
a lot.
the chance of her letting you do that would be negative numbers on the dice. So
She'd let you do that. She's fine. It's just her aspect. And it would probably grow them back like a hydra.
well,
Oh, that'd be
act-
terrifying.
actually, if you kill her aspect, it just goes back to Avernus, waits 2 weeks, and reappears. So you can't really kill her. It's, and she says that's an advantage that I and my brother Bahamut share. You can kill our aspects, but you can't kill us. Only we could kill each other. And they, because Tiamat's actual personage doesn't leave Avernus, and Bahamut's actual personage doesn't leave his plane, his cave on the plane where he lives. So, but they do get in. In fact, their aspects fight each other more than anything else because they're brother and sister. So,
Sounds entertaining.
yeah, that's a fight you'd sell tickets for.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, uh, Tiamat finally says, does this sound like a mission that the three of you would assist me with?
I think we may be up to this task.
Oh, clearly, I'm on board.
Yeah. I've never had genesium before. Maybe I'll try some.
Has Otto done any drugs in his life?
He's eaten
Like,
random mushrooms.
that's it.
Pretty much.
This could be at Otto saying that you see all five of Tiamat's head laugh all at once. She's like, this could be a more interesting adventure than I thought. Um,
It boosts your casting ability, right? That just seems like a great plan.
she says it has to be refined and modified first. But
Yeah.
but you said Otto was somewhat of an alchemist anyway.
Yep, he's got tool proficiency in alchemist, and he's got 18 int, so he's
So
probably doing fairly good as an alchemist.
so he could actually do that.
Yeah,
So this might be an interesting adventure for Otto.
I mean, like, what are the constituent elements of gymnasium? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's an element that's mined straight out of the earth. It's like iron ore.
So could we like synthesize it?
I think that might be a little bit past my
Yeah.
skill at this level.
There
Can we
there
talk to some kind of high level alchemist somewhere?
the
I
uh
feel like it would be easier.
wizards have been trying to do that ever since its uses were discovered, and nothing has ever been successfully done.
That makes sense.
Otherwise,
Um,
why'd they still be mining it
because
out of
the wi-
volcano land?
the, the wizard who comes up with the first acceptable uh, synthesis of this becomes extremely powerful and extremely wealthy, and yeah, they've
Can
all been they've all been trying. Believe me.
This is the philosopher's stone of wizardry in this world, I'd assume.
Yeah, except it has nothing to do with living forever. It has whoever wins this race becomes the most powerful, richest being on this world.
And you can buy life with money, so you can buy extensions to your lifespan with cash. Just get some of those peaches.
Find the right guys to make you into an Elan.
Yeah,
You can buy wish spells and such if you have enough money. And once you have a wish spell in your pocket, you're pretty good to go. So yeah, and and the fact that it's the strongest street drug known to mankind, there are unscrupulous types, as we all know.
Wait, don't I have a magic pouch that has any drug that I want in it?
That sounds overpowered.
Smite does.
Well, can I just like start harvesting little nuggets
Well,
of this from my pouch? Eventually, I mean, like
well,
it'll go in the pile.
this isn't in your pouch.
Oh.
Could it's not a drug until it's been uh,
Processed.
yeah, processed. It
okay.
is a natural ore. You have to
So you could get the drug version of it out of your pouch, but that wouldn't help Tiamat.
You could maybe convert it back and break it down.
um, while I have great magical skills, that is not an area that I'm proficient in.
What about
Uh,
auto?
I could give it a shot, but I think it's probably going to be a difficult transmutation.
I mean, you said you wanted to try it anyway.
Yeah,
So
plus,
I reach into my little pouch and offer him a little nugget.
Tiamat says the quantity in which I'm in search of would take you months, if not years, pulling out little pieces from your pouch.
you'd get some repetitive stress injury from just pulling stuff out of a pouch.
Yeah,
Well,
you can. you get carpal tunnel syndrome and such. Um, but your cleric friend is not wrong. There are caravans, and there are ship shipments that go missing. If you were to say track down a couple of those and bring me the shipments, that would be the quantity that I'm looking for.
Sounds fun.
I stare at the nugget that she handed me and I'm like, so how do I take this? Do I smoke it or eat it?
You
Uh,
crush it and snort it.
Crush it and snort it. Okay.
yeah, that that is the most. Uh,
Straight to the head, yo.
why would why you would know this? I don't know, but that is the most usable way to take this.
It's instinctive.
Yeah, you gotta get it straight into the brainstem, so you gotta
Yeah.
snort it.
Straight to the head, yo. Hi.
Tiamat is quite amused by this. She's like, I don't know if your druid friend really wants to do.
I'll wait until I can turn into a wolf again because I'm out of wolf transformations right now, and then I'll snort it as a wolf.
Oh
Big
no.
Oh,
news.
fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh,
I
shit.
gotta be right back.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's 8:30. Is this a good time to take a break since...
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Well, it's 8:30. This is a good time to take our break. Um, so we'll be back. And how long of a break do you guys want?
15 minutes, half an hour, somewhere around there. I need to get some food in me.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back at 9 um, to see what this group does with their quote new job.
All right. See y'all then. And for everybody else, obviously, you're going to see us come back instantly, so don't worry about the timing. Bye.
Or will you?
Hello, and welcome back to episode 13 of Fallen Dragons The Dinner Party. When we left our happy little group, they had just finished the discussion with the other dinner guest at the table, uh, Smite's patron Tiamat. And as they all sit by the roaring fire in the great hall as dishes are being cleared away, um, Tiamat had made a proposal to them. She wants them to track down a large quantity of genesium for her so that she can attempt to overthrow Asmodeus and become the ruler of the Nine Hells. And as was explained, genesium is the most valuable substance on Azeron as a whole. It can be made into a very potent, very expensive street drug. It, it can be used to amplify magic. Um, it can generally have an effect on anything magical. And Tiamat thinks that if she can amplify her own magic with this, she would be strong enough to take on Asmodeus, who she very rightly hates and would love to get rid of. And just before the break, the group agreed to the mission. Terms have not yet been set, however. So that's where we'll pick this up.
So when do you need the drugs by?
No specific timeline other than as quickly as you can do it.
How do we deliver them to you when we have the goods?
Um,
Do we just turn on the Tiamat signal and you show up?
no,
I think I can call her.
we can do this one of two ways. We can communicate through Smite, or you can come to my living arrangement on Avernus if you would like.
That would be difficult for adventurers of our caliber currently. But maybe soon we could find a scroll or potion that would allow us to do so. Although I don't know how we'd move the full amount of goods with us. Maybe get an elephant and feed it a potion?
Can Otto, at what level can Otto turn into an elephant?
Now that's a great question. Let's see, elephant. Elephants are CR4, so no time soon.
Um,
I
well,
think a giant elk actually has a fair amount of strength, though, so it could probably carry most of it in saddlebags if need be.
that's one way. Uh, we'll see who you come upon in completion of this mission, and depending on how much you acquire, on my end, I will be working on uh, ways to communicate and move the amount that you get.
All right.
Because, as I said, I keep fairly close um, eyes on my.
Gotta keep your eye on the prize.
Well, and Smite, I believe, is the only non dragon uh, follower I have. So,
I hope you're entertained.
You need the
and she,
franchise.
and she's also one of the few non-temple members who's actually an adventurer who goes out and, you know, does interesting, amusing things. So I keep track of her. And now that you're actually doing me a favor, I will not only keep track of you, but I will help you where possible.
Fantastic.
So,
So where do we find a large deposit of this ore?
Well, in that kingdom,
Hmm.
Ke, I lost the name. It was K something.
Canamir,
Canamir.
spelled
So
spelled Canamir.
are we just gonna saunter up in there and take it, or what?
Yeah, we'll totally just steal some shipments of it and then run.
Yeah, I say as we get close, we hit up some taverns, talk to some people, see about when the caravans come through. Maybe there's a regular thing. I mean, let's be honest, the unsanctioned market runs like clockwork. They've got to keep a steady supply.
For sure, for sure.
The black market is more reliable than the white market, shall we?
Yeah,
As far as getting you things you need on a timely basis.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we can find a good connect and find a new line of work. I mean,
Are we drug smugglers now? Is that what we are, Smite? Is that what it's come
Oh,
to?
well,
kinda.
I believe in bodily autonomy,
eh, eh,
and people should experience whatever they choose to.
she is a tiefling, so her she would tend toward the darker side of things. So
Also, state sanctioned drugs are pretty much the same thing. And state sanctioned drugs essentially like fuel war. So, you know, all things being equal, it's pretty equal.
Yeah, all these wizards out here selling all of the potions and crap that they try to put down our throats. Not that I'll say no to a healing potion now and again, but
now you can mix them with uh, cookie dough ice cream.
exactly.
Sugar is a hell of a drug.
Eh,
It's true.
There's tracking dust in the health potions.
does. Uh, T- Tiamat laughs. She's like, I need no such trivialities to track you. If I want to find you, I find you.
Again, creepy, but kind of hot.
I am a goddess. And that would be something well remembered because even though I have a slight affection for my tiefling here and you are helping me, I am a goddess.
Hmm.
So,
Don't worry, we'll tread lightly when it comes to your realm.
No, all due respect. But yeah, I mean, I think you're great.
and she turns specifically to Smite. She goes, I think you have a little friend over there. So, you know, you have a dragon connection that few have. Do not mess that up.
I'm all like I was there at their birth. Like
Yeah,
they're important to me.
dragons have a different attitude than most. Dragons' philosophy of life is as long as you are nice to them, they'll be nice to you. If you start screwing them over, they have no moral issue with you becoming dragon kibble and them moving on to the next thing they're doing. Because in their lifespan, they last thousands of years. You last 80 if you're lucky. So
I plan
you
on living forever just by turning into different animals that are young.
so you know, what Tiamat is saying is most other beings don't have the connection with dragons that you got to experience.
Oh,
Don't don't mess with that.
I was just picturing Otto as a tardigrade.
But like a giant tardigrade. He's like
He
actually
can.
the size of a cat.
Otto turns into a sloth permanently and lives for like 200 years by not doing anything at all
No,
Awesome.
yeah,
except except eating.
Yep. Turns into a tortoise and just slowly continues to walk his way across the land,
Only stopping to eat when necessary.
which is always.
So we
But
should prepare our supplies and ration our forces. Can we borrow a dragon or something? Yeah?
a what?
Borrow a
Oh,
Bar-
dragon? We might be able to
there,
get some dragonborn.
there's only three of us. I don't think we're going with you. Um, if for whatever reason you need a place to be, we are happy to offer food and shelter and
oh, the ship here, right?
Yeah.
eh, and protection if you happen to get yourself into a bit of a scrape, shall we say.
So,
Perfect.
Because I don't think your average pirate wants to mess with us.
yeah.
In fact, I don't think the average pirate wants to mess with the little one here, much less the two of us.
So when we're coming in hot with the whole Camarinian navy behind us, we're good? We're good?
You see an entire navy suddenly take large amounts of necrotic damage and just
Sink.
the the wood rots into the ocean and you see skeletons fall and shit.
Sounds
Uh,
great.
I don't think you'd have a problem with that. But you're right. Uh, Tiamat interjects and says you are correct. You should make uh, your arrangements to begin this
Do you have
mission.
any dragonborn priests that we could hire onto our crew as assistants for in case we have any injuries?
Uh, Actually, I do. I do not know his name. Well, I do not know his name as of yet, but he is a dragonborn monk that might be useful for you.
Oh, good.
He he has been sort of bored at the temple and um, clamors for adventure.
Well, we'll definitely hire him on. Any extra hand when we have to deal with bringing back all of this genesium. If a single pirate hears about it, they're all going to know.
Oh, above game they already do. This is this has been something that's been known for quite some time.
People know that Tiamat want to get up there.
No, they don't know that she wants it, but Genesium has been around for quite some time.
Oh no, what I meant was like if they catch wind that we're shipping it,
Hmm.
Ah, yes.
then we're in trouble. So, so someone who can catch ballista bolts would be really helpful.
A Dragonborn monk could probably do that if he was high enough level.
Yeah,
Because my 7th level human Dragonborn monk caught arrows without a problem. So,
yeah. Technically, the size of the arrow doesn't is never listed in what you can catch with deflect missiles.
so
So,
yeah,
so
I
if you get lucky,
he could catch a ballista bolt
yeah,
and throw it back.
yeah.
Technically, Lucid. While you're all discussing this, a vague memory crosses your mind. Give me a history check.
12.
The picture of your ex fiance passes through your head, and a vague memory of an encounter on a ship year some time ago crosses your mind.
I remember meeting her on a ship.
They they don't know who she is. You would have to tell them.
So an old acquaintance of mine may be able to provide some assistance on this mission. I know she has her hands in certain dealings around that region.
Oh, perfect.
So I guess I send her a letter.
Yeah, Otto was there for that. So I think he remembers her to some, or probably not. Honestly, Otto doesn't really pay that much attention to things that aren't food. He remembers killing a guy one time, or helping kill a guy and helping heal the queen.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really remember any of the rest of that encounter.
And and you both remember this woman. Um, actually, Otto, give me a history roll.
Okay. 18.
Otto, you remember this woman say, saying something as you were leaving about a place called the Jakarian Inlet.
Oh yeah, the Chikarian Inlet. That was where we were going to try to catch them when they were on the boat,
Yeah,
but we caught them before they got there.
right.
All of this stuff is back in Esma's Beginnings, if
Yeah,
above game, if you want to go check that out and haven't seen it yet.
yeah. This is background from there that now plays into this. And so, it being it being considerably into the night now, what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna stay another night at the castle, or are you gonna head to your ship and try to start getting it outfitted, or
I think we
what are you
should.
gonna do?
I'm of the opinion that we should go back to the ship and get it outfitted as soon as possible, because when a goddess says do something, you do it.
That sounds like a good reason.
And that way you could actually leave at sunup if you wanted.
Right. I mean, it's not like we need to do much of the outfitting, and they've been sitting idle for a couple months now, so.
Yeah. And your crew is still there. You had enough you had enough supplies that your crew has survived for 2 to 3 months. You don't have you're running low on supplies now because your crew has been surviving on them, but
Yeah, but
Have
they
they been
can.
on the payroll the whole time or what?
what?
Have they been on the payroll the whole time?
Yeah, and they are getting grumpy because they haven't been paid because you guys have been gone.
Hmm.
So,
Luckily, it's only like a silver a day. It's not. It
Yeah,
adds
how
up,
many
but.
crew members?
Huh?
How many crew members?
you have a dozen crew members.
That adds up quick.
Oh, yeah, it's like a gold and 2 silver per day times
Yeah,
like 30, 60, something like that.
90,
90, yeah. So that's like.
nine,
That's like
Are they
150
making
gold right there, or something, 120 gold that we need to pop
for
to them.
for 12 crew members. That's fair pay, but they're like,
But they'd like to get it now.
right. They see the three of you wandering toward the ship. Um, the the newly elected second in command uh, ju- jumps up on the edge of the ship and says, "Ah, you're back. We need to speak to you."
Hail! We need to get everything ready in ship shape as soon as possible. We have a mission.
That's fine for you. We have not been paid for 3 months.
All right, here's 3 months' pay.
This ship isn't going anywhere until that problem is rectified or you can find a new crew.
Do you want your pay? Because we'll totally give you your pay right now if you want to rectify that issue.
If you have it with you, that would be wonderful. If not, we're leaving and you're finding a new crew.
We actually have that much money on us, like easily. We've got a couple grand on us.
You say that out loud. Why do you say that shit out loud, man?
Oh, yeah,
Now you're gonna want a bonus for like interest for having to wait. I mean, they could probably deserve it. I would want that too. I think, like, in all fairness, maybe we should kick an extra, like, I don't know, gold coin each for their stress and worry.
sure.
If we've got that much in the bank.
So the three of you agree to pay your crew.
Yeah.
So the three of you walk on board ship and you pay each man his wages for the last 3 months.
Yep.
And they're all very happy and there's mumbling about drinking and such like that.
Oh, yeah, have you all tried ice cream? Do you want to?
They would not have tried ice cream now.
Check this out. I say, get some
Rocky
bowls.
Road.
Yeah, I say, Rocky
Road.
Road. What is Rocky Road? I'll try Rocky Road. But get some bowls.
It's basically chocolate ice cream with marshmallows and I think it's almonds or something like that. It's
Yeah,
yeah, but
but Otto doesn't know that, so he gets to try it for the first time.
so you switch the flavor in the flask to Rocky Road, and for the first time in your existence, you taste what a marshmallow is.
This tastes nothing like a marsh.
Or a mallow.
It's true. Well, maybe.
whatever, whatever that would be,
Maybe it tastes exactly like a mallow.
and
The marsh is a reference to consistency.
Oh,
oh, and this has more chocolate flavor than the cookie dough does too. So now you
really no chocolate.
have properly experienced chocolate.
Yeah.
So now Otto is even more hyper than he was because he's had an infusion of sugar and chocolate. If you were an octopus right now, you'd be jumping around on the deck. It'd be
Yeah.
really weird.
Squiggling everywhere.
Yeah. So, are you going to let your crew go out drinking, or are you going to inform them of the?
So we have a mission and have to go to. First, we would like to pick up a new crewmate from the Temple of Tiamat.
They all look at you sort of nervously upon saying that.
We've
Think
been
it's
working with
helpful.
dragons. Come on, man.
They haven't. You
That's true.
have.
That's true.
I mean, they've been island ruled by obsidian dragons, so
Well, they've been staying out here on the beach. They're not dealing with the dragons that you're dealing with, and they're going. They've heard horror stories about Tiamat and such. They don't know that, you know, she's as nice as you think she is.
Don't worry, she's cool.
She's great.
They've just heard of her blasting ships into oblivion and such like that.
Just
So,
don't mess with her. If you please her, she shall adorn you with graces.
they're like, we agree with half of that. We're not gonna mess with her. We're stay as far away from her as we can.
Yeah. So after that, we'll need to sail to the strait, whose name that I just forgot again, even though it was just told to me,
Oh, the Jakarian Inlet.
to the Chikarian Inlets,
Yes.
to meet with an old friend of ours.
Old friend might not be the exact term, but
Well,
for the for the cruise, you know,
yeah, they don't need to know exactly what.
right.
It's an old friend of Lucid's, at least.
Yay.
She
Let's go
only
with
tried.
that.
She only tried to dagger him in the back a couple of times,
It was just business.
and she only killed her mother and father. She's a nice girl.
We helped with some of that, didn't we?
Yeah, you helped kill her mother. Her
She's
father,
just a bit ambitious.
she killed ahead of time. She's such a nice, polite, upstanding girl. Yeah. And until that point, Lucid was still in love with her till she tried to.
Shank him.
Yeah,
What makes you think he's not still in love with her now?
he very well could be. So, in fact, is he? As as we're setting this up, and he knows he's going to go see her again. How is he feeling about the whole thing?
Yeah, he's excited to see her. Wants to see if anything's still there.
Well, after, she apologized for trying to kill him twice.
I
Uh,
don't remember that it was exactly an apology.
well,
More
she,
that, I had to do it.
yeah, is all in my master plan to rule the world sort of thing. And, but the two of you did notice there was still a little tiny bit of chemistry there. Um,
I mean, if there's chemistry, there's chemistry.
Yep.
love and chemistry don't have to be the same thing.
They're not necessarily mutually exclusive, though.
No. So you can you can hate somebody and have really good sex with them. The rest of it just doesn't work out well.
It doesn't need to.
No. So, fact,
Sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so Smite is agreeing to do this because
I owe her one.
well, you also like her a lot, which And then Lucid is doing this because he wants to see what Claire has been up to. And Otto is doing this because
Honestly, it's kind of a it uh challenge. It's something interesting for him to try to do, especially when it comes to refining the genesium.
so he's happy that he gets to use his alchemy skills for the first time in a long time and see what he can make of that.
Yep.
Plus, you, this is the place you guys have never been before, so Otto is thinking there could be some interesting food here.
Yeah. Maybe some new animals to learn.
True.
I I tap Otto on the shoulder and just kind of like under my breath, like after this, you should hit that shit.
Yeah, I need to take a 1 hour quick power nap, but then I'll be able to transform into a wolf, and then, well, I mean, they have big noses.
But how? I'll help you. We should do
So,
it together.
Okay.
so there should be room enough in your rooms on this ship if you guys want to do that. Um, so you guys
Thank
have,
you.
as you're getting stuff ready to uh, on your ship, the three obsidian dragons and Tiamat walk out of the castle.
How does the crew react to that?
They're terrified. They're like, holy crap, oh god. And we've been paid so we can't run now, oh god. Uh,
Be cool, y'all. They're fine.
These are our
and
friends.
Little baby. Look how
this,
cute.
this little baby is taller than the mast on this ship.
Adorable. I'm his uncle.
the, the crew's even more terrified hearing that. They're like, you're what? Uh, and they basically all run to the other end of the ship and get as far away as they can. Uh, as the dragons get closer, you notice that there's like four um, elf servants behind them with boxes.
They're bringing food. Good food.
Awesome.
And uh, Ishkabale is like, says, we know that your ship has been here for a while and probably needs supplies. So, to make it where you don't have to take the time to go go into town and find supplies, we have brought you uh, food and alcohol, and you know, because our chef's food will be better than any food you'll buy in any market. So, uh,
I would
Fantastic.
not object.
so, so have they stop at the front of the ship where you guys are, and they have their elf servants load um, a total of 10 boxes onto the ship. And they say 8 of those are food, um, 2 of them are alcohol.
I cheer.
We
Um,
didn't get the flask back though, right?
We did.
yeah, you do have the flask of never ending rum,
That's great.
which the crew is exceedingly happy about because
Yeah.
So
they,
am I.
they were using it before Esma absconded with it, so because it's an easy way to keep your crew happy. They have rum whenever they want it, so they are quite happy to find out that you have brought that back.
I mean, in lieu of pay.
Well,
Oh,
In addition to pay, I mean,
indeed.
it's
they're
like
like
required as part of their contract that they get as much grog as they need.
sailors have to have rum to continue to function. So, yeah. um, I'm going to roll for something here. And it doesn't look like any of the crew need healing or anything.
Good, I wouldn't have done it anyways.
I would have.
At which point, 4 of them come up to you and throw you off the ship, and you hit the ground. And
Deserved it.
you take um, 3 points of falling damage from hitting the ground.
It's not bad.
Is that how you
You're
treat
gonna
your
get a long
captain?
rest.
So, uh,
But no, don't worry. I'm here to help.
it's like, are you sure you won't heal us?
He doesn't need to. I can.
You'll
We
catch a long rest on the way.
we can just leave him here.
I think he's the captain. I think we need him to pilot the boat?
Does he know where we're going? Can he read the
Well,
stars?
well, he knows where. He has a vague memory of where you're going because at
Boom.
one
19 survival. I know
Oh,
where we're going.
at one point in his life he was headed there in an earlier lifetime.
19
Oh, I hope you
survival?
know where we're going.
Um,
We're just gonna like wander in
no,
circles for all eternity.
no. In fact, um, Tiamat tells you the Jakarian Inlet is a straight line from here.
Oh, perfect.
Is that where your temple is?
No, the temple is just on the other side of this island.
Oh, perfect.
Um, my shadowed obsidian dragon host. Oh, when they took over control of the island, they allowed me to build the temple here.
Excellent. So we can go get the monk that you
Okay.
spoke of earlier by just taking the boat around the island, and then we can sail to the Chikarian Inlet.
Yep. It will take maybe a week in your timeline because it is a straight line from here, but it is halfway to Nikos, which is one of the far lands. And it's they don't call it a far land for nothing. So this will take you at least a week.
Well, that sounds not too bad.
And that is nothing impedes your progress.
Fingers crossed.
So, um, at which point, Tiamat and the two adult dragons smile at you, and the baby dragon sort of drops its head lightly as possible on your shoulder, which almost still knocks you over because of the size, and just sort of lays its head there for a second
So cute.
and actually licks your shoulder. It's like your the top of your outfit is now soaked because he he licked your shoulder and uh, begins to back up. Uh,
Now he will remember your taste.
Yep. And Tiamat says in your mind, um, "I will be watching you from here." Um, and for a second, you feel a bit of a sharp pain in your head, like almost a momentary migraine. And then you hear, "Now we can communicate with each other."
Now you're a telepath. Congratulations.
Are you
Only
hearing
with
voices you cannot explain?
oh,
It might be
only
a superpower.
Yeah,
only with her Patreon, only with her patron, not anything else.
still, that's super useful.
She says, "Since you are helping me, I figured this is the easiest way for us to stay in touch." And with that, the four dragons turn and head back toward the castle, and you continue to make the ship ready. Does Lucid get up and walk back on board ship?
Yes.
And come morning light, did you guys did you guys name the ship, or uh, I
No,
thought when I
We
thought when you
definitely did, but I don't remember what it
yeah,
was.
I thought when you first got it, you guys named it.
I think it's the Storm Dragon.
That does actually sound familiar. So when morning comes and the storm dragon is completely outfitted, it pulls away from the dock, and you are on your first mission for Tiamat.
Oh, let's try that Genesium dust now.
And with that, that's where we're going to end it tonight, and we will see what Otto's reaction to Genesium is next week, and you will be picking up a new crew member next week. So,
Sounds great.
Sweet.
and I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yep, it was fun.
It was a good game.
Yeah, for sure. New
Well,
mission, very exciting.
well, I figured
Good
that
drugs.
your group your group name is Fallen Dragon. You should be interacting with them a bit more than you have been. Um, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I worked on it for quite a while. um, and I hope you guys out there watching who see it on YouTube enjoy it,
Yeah,
because it should be up in a few days
yep.
on the channel.
So, go ahead and like and subscribe, of course. Follow us on Facebook. Check out our Twitter. Check out our Discord. All of them are up on the screen now.
I'm gonna make more of an effort to show up on Discord. If I can find the time with all the stuff I'm doing, but I'm gonna make more of an effort to do that. So if you guys have questions, you can leave them for me and I'll answer them. And you can always leave a comment on the video and I'll answer that too. Because we do want to interact with you and we do want to grow the channel. And for those of you who are specifically into dragons, this storyline is going to be good for that. So, uh, and tune in next week for episode 5 of Gunpowder and Brass.
Yep, I've got some fun stuff planned for everybody.
And like I said, in the not too distant future, we're gonna do a Christmas Call of Cthulhu episode. Probably more than one because the Halloween one took two. So, which it'll be really fun to see if the group gets out of the mental hospital or not. Because 1920s Arkham Asylum should be a really fun place to be, especially over Christmas. Who knows? Santa may show up. We might find out that Santa's stark raving bonkers and all this Christmas stuff has been an illusion in his mind. You never know.
All right. I look forward to it, and I hope everybody else does as well. So, thanks for watching, and yeah, have a great night.
Yeah, we'll
Catch you later.
see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.